What's up, everybody? What is up? What is up? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Kona, what's up, bro? Womack, how you doing? Zero, how you doing, bro? Tanua, what's up? What's up? Crawler, Geo. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody's Monday going? Xavier. Snailium happened to be up. It's super late for you right now. Your subconscious mind told you the stream was starting. Could just sense it through the wavelength vibrations. What's up, everybody? Christian, Josh, what's up? How's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me pretty well? Let me know if the audio is coming through good. All right, sick. Is the audio coming through pretty good, guys? The stream is going to come on at such a convenient time. Yeah, okay, sick, dope. Phantom Wait, how you doing? Having a good Monday? Dude, I'm doing good too, man. All right, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about, does Hunter x Hunter currently still need Gon and Killua? And we're just gonna go in detail and talk about it. This stream will like have a bunch of spoilers for the stuff that happens after the anime. So if you don't want to be spoiled on like the manga stuff that happens after the anime, this is a spoiler warning for you. I'll give you a couple seconds. All right. So yeah, this is what we're going to be talking about, because in the most recent chapters of Hunter x Hunter, Gon and Killua are like legitimately not in the story at all. We haven't, like, in terms of real life years, we actually haven't seen Gon in 11 real life years. They're pretty much completely out of the story for now. Okay. And I had made a post about this yesterday, talking about, like, in complete honesty, there's one piece of Hunter x Hunter that I'm actually not a fan of, and it's how Gon is being handled in the most recent chapters. I'm actually not a fan of it. Oh, bro, I just realized I screwed up with the thumbnail, bro. I accidentally deleted some of Killua's clothes. I'll have to remake it. You guys are seeing this only here. But anyways, the thing I noticed is, like, I'm not a fan of how Gon's being handled in the recent chapters, just because there's so much left to his character that we just never really got to see. So I'll start talking about that right now, okay? I'll really go in detail into this in like a couple different pieces here. And then once I go through like the majority of my points, like I'll sum everything up basically. But here's the thing about Gon. Okay? Yes, his goal was to find Jing, but that's not everything that there was to his character. That wasn't all that there was about him. Finding Jing was part of it, but the other part is that he's destined to become a truly great hunter. And you could honestly make a debate and say he's destined to become the greatest hunter that's ever lived, actually. And this is implied literally throughout the entire series, multiple times over. Okay, so if you look at the left-hand panel here, this is Gon when he's talking to Killua. They're chilling at Gon's house, and he tells Killua that if he didn't meet Kite, he might not have tried to ever meet Jing. Like he said, like Kite talking to him about like how powerful and crazy Jing was. If that didn't happen, he might have never wanted to actually go after Jing, right? But Killua says, I think you would have ended up being a hunter anyway. And this is backed up by like multiple different things throughout the story, that like Gon is just kind of meant to be a great hunter. He has the mentality, the mindset of a great hunter just off rip. He has this line of dialogue where he first meets Killua. He says he heard about how amazing his dad was from Kite, and he says he wants to follow in Jing's footsteps. Okay, and he does that intuitively without even trying, but he says that's something he wants to do. He wants to follow in Jing's footsteps. Okay, now this is where Kite's like first talking to him about Jing, telling him that Jing like great enough to be a triple star hunter, telling him Jing's like the greatest hunter ever. And that inspires Gon. Another thing he says to Mito before he leaves, he says, I'll come back as a great hunter. That's something he still hasn't achieved yet. He's still a rookie. He doesn't even have a single star. He never specialized in anything. He didn't even like master all the things it takes to be an enhancer. 2 out of 3 of his Hatsus are still in complete baby mode. Like, he didn't achieve that. He never achieved that. Okay? Now, here's another thing just showing like Gon has the hunter mindset just off rip to the point where it's actually not normal. This is... Hold on. Let me slug some water. One sec. Okay. So here's the thing. This is another scene of him talking about his mindset. To the point, like he has a hunter mindset by nature to the point where it's just not normal. Okay. So this is the first time he ever hears Jing's voice in his entire life. Aunt Mito hands him this box and she's like this like treasure chest thing. And she's like, all right, bro. Jing told me never give this to you unless you become a hunter. I know there's like, you literally have a better chance of winning the lottery than you do of becoming a hunter, by the way. But anyways, she gives him this thing and he's like, all right, bet. And he unlocks it because he's a hunter. He has Nen now, right? And in that, this is an audio recording from Jing. So if you think about that, just think about it logically for a second. Jing literally told Mito, if Gon can't achieve something that's like that he has a 0.001% chance of achieving, something more challenging than winning the lottery, if Gon can't do that, he'll never hear my voice, he'll never see me, he'll never know anything about me. That's what Jing's telling him by like saying, hey, don't give this message to Gon unless he becomes a hunter. That's the first thing. The second thing is when Gon actually hears the message, Jing is honestly kind of a straight up scumbag to him. He word for word says, I don't want to see you. I quit being a parent for purely selfish reasons. I'll always be the guy that I am. I'll never change. Then he goes on to say, hunters are a bunch of egomaniacs. We cast everything else aside to get what we want. If you think it would be nice to meet me, you're wrong, bro. And instead of like being angry at that, like a normal child would be, Gon gets hyped, bro. Gon gets hyped by that. This is just another sign that like Gon, he's not a normal person. He's straight up built to be a hunter, like one of the greatest. He has a hunter's mindset. And this is actually another thing that like people misunderstand about Gon's character, in my opinion. This is something that people misunderstand about him. Jing straight up says that hunters are a bunch of egomaniacs that cast everything else aside to get what they want. They have to be extremely determined to get the things that they want. And the whole series is pretty much telling us that's exactly who Gon is. He's really just like a clone of Jing, bro. He's really like a clone of Jing. He's exactly like Jing, casts everything aside to get what he wants. And he's just extremely determined. Like people say, people watch the Chimera Ant arc and like how just the crazy things Gon does in the Chimera Ant arc. Also the crazy things he does when he's fighting Genthru, like he's willing to let his arm get blown off just so he can land one attack on Genthru just out of pure like pride and selfishness. There's no reason for that. Gon had a plan to beat Genthru where he could have beaten Genthru without taking any damage. He says, screw that plan. I'm not going to do that. I need to throw hands. I need to land at least one hit on him fair and square first. And he gets his hand blown off just to do that. And then in the Chimera Ant arc, he's doing crazy stuff the entirety of the Chimera Ant arc to the point where even Poof comments on it. He says, out of all of our enemies, Gon has the most unwavering determination. He has iron will. He's trouble for those reasons, right? The whole series is telling you Gon has the perfect hunter mindset. The perfect hunter mindset. He's literally just a clone of Jing. People say like Gon's selfish. He throws everything away to get his goals. He's stubborn. He doesn't change his mind once he's made his mind up. And people say those are bad things. Brother, Those are the best possible things a hunter can have. That's the thing. He is such a hunter that normal people like us, when we read it, we think it's bizarre. That's the point. He's that different, bro. By nature. Like, no one really made him this way. This is just how he is. It's from the very beginning of the series too. Like, he doesn't care what people tell him. He doesn't care if you're stronger than him and you tell him things. He'll just ignore it and do whatever he wants. Like, Alumi's telling him, like, yeah, if you go after Killua, this is in the hunter exams. He's like, if you go after Killua, it's just not going to work out for you. Gon's like, I don't care, bro. I'll just do it anyway. And like, Gon didn't even want to use his hunter license until he punched Hisoka in the face. Killua tells him, bro, that's genuinely stupid. It's going to take you 10 years to hit Hisoka in the face. He says, I don't care, bro. I'm not using my hunter license till I do it. It's like, he's just extremely stubborn to the point where it's almost bizarre for readers to read it. But that's because hunters are different. Like Jing word for word says, hunters are a bunch of egomaniacs. We cast everything else aside to get what we want. Gon hears all of this, gets hyped up. That's because that's who Gon is, bro. He is a hunter by nature, bro. And like, when Kite first meets Gon, he instantly can tell that he's Jing's son just by the way he acts. He's like, blood tells, kid, and yours speaks volumes, okay? And then he goes ahead and says, all good hunters get along well with animals. And we see animals love Gon all throughout the series. And yeah, this right-hand panel, this is Kite saying that Jing is the best hunter in the world. And he's like, dude, you're just like him, basically. No matter what. Also, this is another thing talking about Gon's potential. I was going to save that for a separate segment. But this is Kite. He's already been properly trained by Jing. He's a full-grown adult. And he says now he's on the hunt of finding Jing, and it's his most challenging hunt ever. But Gon achieves this within 15 months of like starting his journey as a child. Okay. Another thing, pretty much everyone who sees him looks at him as if he's just Jing 2.0. It happens over and over again. Like, it's as if he's just destined to be number one. This sailor guy, he sees him, instantly sees him as if he's Jing. And he asks him, like, who's your dad, bro? He's like, oh, I've never met him, but I hear he's the best hunter. And the sailor's like, I see, the day has finally come. As if Jing is just, I mean, as if Gon is just like a national treasure, bro. Like, so when people are sitting here telling me, well, I can get into this in more detail in a few more slides here. But when people tell me that it's a good thing Gon doesn't have, that Gon might not have Nen, I'm like, bro, did we read the same series? He didn't achieve even 1/100th of his potential. What are we talking about, man? Here's another thing. This is Gon just like, not only is he the spitting image, basically clone of Jing, but he also says things that are very similar to what Jing says, even with no knowledge of what Jing said. Like, this is when Gon goes off to leave to become a hunter. His aunt Mito's like, well, you know, he just abandoned you when you were a baby, right? Just so he could go and be a hunter, right? You know that, right? And Gon's like, well, if being a hunter must just be such a great job that family comes second. And he's like, being a hunter's not for weaklings, Aunt Mito. And she's like, dang, bro, that's cold. Like she instantly knows, like, he's exactly like Jing. Because when Jing left, he said something very similar. Like, because Jing had a family at Whale Island and he abandoned them all at 11 years old to become a hunter. Like, this is Jing on the right-hand panel. If I didn't tell you that, you would just think it was Gon. But this is Jing on the right-hand panel. And this is him at 11 leaving the island the same way Gon did. And she's like, why are you leaving? He's like, well, there's just something I want. I want to be a hunter. They're pretty much the same guy. They're pretty much the same guy. And then that's even what Mito says. She's like, it's true, you're just like him after all. And then this is a panel of Jing on the on the right, just showing like Jing and Gon are the same dude. They even used to both used a fishing rod, like, as well. They're the same guy, basically. Okay. Now, here's the thing, guys. Like, the concept that it's a good thing that Gon might not have Nen, the reality is we don't know. He might still have it, he might not, we don't know. It's like a 50-50. But based off of everything we analyzed in the series, I made a full video on it a couple days ago. I recommend checking that out. But It's like more likely that all the aura nodes in Gon's body are closed. That's a different thing than Zetsu. Zetsu is like all your aura is shut off. Like you don't have any aura at all. That's a completely different thing. Your presence is hidden entirely. But when your aura nodes are closed, you still have aura. You just can't use it to fight. Like that's what it really means. Okay. So anyway, the concept that it's okay that Gon might not have Nen now, that doesn't make any sense with the story, guys. Because he's also meant to become a truly great hunter just by nature. Like everything about him says that. Okay, and I'll go more in detail on that. Like I have this segment for Killua real quick. I'll talk about like why more by nature it makes a ton of sense for Gon to become the greatest hunter. I have a few more slides on that, but I have this segment about Killua really quick. If anything, I'll be honest with you. If one of them had to lose their Nen, the one that it would actually make sense would be Killua. Because Killua straight up at the start of the series says he just wants to be a normal kid. You guys want to say anything about that real quick? Ida, that's true. And I'll talk about that too. If Killua never met Gon, he'd still have the Nen needle in his head. But this is if one of them had to lose their Nen, the one that it would actually make more narrative sense is if Killua lost his Nen. Because at the start of the series, he straight up says he's tired of being an assassin. He just wants to be a normal kid. He just wants to hang out, do normal stuff, hang out with his friend Gon, and that's it. He word for word says that. Meanwhile, Gon is born into a normal life and says, screw the normal life. I want to be a crash out hunter. It's complete opposites. It's complete opposites. Okay. Now, I have a bunch of things to say about Gon here. For one, the most fascinating thing about Gon is, to me, he is the most interesting depiction of potential that I've ever seen in any shonen series I've ever read, period. More interesting than Gohan, more interesting than Luffy, more interesting than Naruto, more interesting than Sasuke, more interesting than any other shonen genius type character I've ever seen. Gon is the most interesting one. The reason for that is just because like how his potential is portrayed is very fascinating. And I'll give you an example. Like in the start of the series, we know that there's a lot of people stronger than him, but we see for the first time when he gets angry, his strength skyrockets. But he's still weaker than most of the verse. It's just like his strength goes way higher than it should be. And his potential is hyped up by pretty much everyone who meets him. So your mind just starts thinking like, how strong could he become? Especially when you see him start performing things. He performs things in 10 days that took Killua about 10 years. And you just start really thinking about that. You're like, this kid's insane. His potential is just actually fundamentally insane, bro. So like, I prefer this depiction of potential way more than someone like Gohan, for example. Because Gohan, it's like if you go back and you watch Dragon Ball Z, when Goku and Piccolo are fighting Raditz, they're getting slammed. They're getting destroyed. This is after they've trained their whole lives. Gohan's 4 years old. He gets mad one time and can one-shot Raditz. That is not as good as something like this, where Gon, you know he has insane potential. It's foreshadowed the whole series. But when he gets angry, it's like he gets a power spike, but he's still not beating like all of these insane people. Like there's so many other attributes that he's outscaled in. Okay, so now, and then another thing, this is just people talking about Gon's potential. This is him on the left-hand panel. This is Bisky talking about like Gon and Killua's special attributes. She says Gon has bottomless potential. And then like Gon's potential being higher than Killua is also shown with the gem analogy, because she's like a gem hunter. She says Gon is like a diamond, Killua's like a sapphire. Diamonds are just like worth more than sapphires. Then you go to the right-hand panel here. This is Melioron talking about Gon. And you could make an argument that he's comparing him, like just saying what's slightly different between him and Killua is that this kid has potential like a bottomless pit. Because when he talks about Killua, he says Killua has as much potential as a squadron leader, but Gon's is like a bottomless pit. So, and this is no Nen Needle Killua, by the way. But okay, so now I want to just go more in detail on the points of. Oh, Green Tornado, thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate it a lot. You said Hunter x Hunter equal nature documentary, able to switch focus. That is true, and I'll get into that in a bit more here. But first, I just really wanted to like completely explain my stance on like the Gon situation and why I'm not a fan of it. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I said earlier, I did a whole video explaining like whether or not Gon has Nen. I did a lowball interpretation for like the lowest end of his possible powers right now, and a highball interpretation for the highest end of his possible powers right now. I recommend check that video out for more details on that. But basically, the reality is, this chapter here where Gon says he can't make any aura, there's a couple different ways you can depict this, but this came out 11 real life years ago, and we have no more information after that. Like, so basically, it's like Jing says he still has aura, but Gon can't see it. And then he also says he can't sense other people's aura too. So it implies that he's had the aura nodes in his body closed. That's not the same thing as Zetsu. It means he still has aura, but he just can't use Nen techniques. Like he can't use Ten, Ren, Gyo, any of that. That's like the low ball interpretation. The high ball interpretation is he has all of his powers, but the aura nodes in his eyes are closed, so we just can't see them. It's one or the other, but we don't know. Okay, it's been 11 years and we have no information on it. But here's why that bothers me. Okay, like the fact that it's 11 years bothers me, yes, but what really bothers me is that Gon was with Jing for an entire day and he could have fixed this there. Okay, so like here's the thing. When Gon met Jing, he immediately is talking to him about like his hunter adventures and like the goals he has as a hunter. Like and this is you just seeing that they were there for an entire day. They were there from like morning time all the way throughout the night. But the first thing that Jing tells him is like the first hunting mission he ever had. So, and then they talk for a whole day. And then Jing also mentions that Gon tells him about the Pito fight. Gon tells him that he like made a Nen contract, said that he was willing to let everything end. He doesn't care what happens to him, and then used all of his Nen like that, right? And then was wished back to normal. Low-key, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, this is kind of a plot hole. Because if Jing knew this, if Gon really told Jing this while they were on the World Tree, why didn't Jing say, hey, wait, show me your Nen real quick. Let's see how your Nen is. And pause and think about that for a second, chat. Why did Jing not do that? This is low-key kind of a plot hole. Because the moment Gon called him on the phone and told him he can't use aura, Jing instantly thought of this solution. He's like, oh yeah, you're probably just back to normal. Why didn't this occur while they were on the World Tree? This is legitimately kind of a plot hole, guys. Anyone have an answer to that? Why didn't he think of it? Like here's why I really don't like this part of this one piece of the story. This is one piece of it that I'm not a fan of, right? It's because, oh yeah, and then this was just the fact that this chapter here came out 11 years ago. And I realized that when I made the video talking about whether or not Gon has Nen, and I saw that this chapter came out 11 years ago, and that's what actually annoyed me about this whole thing. It just like sunk in that it's been that long and we've gotten nothing. But here's the reason why it actually does really bother me, guys. It's because Gon has this line of dialogue right here. He says, when he, like, this is Gon after he talks to Jing, he goes back home, meets Aunt Mito again, and this is like what Gon says. He says, if I had been able to use Nen and could sense how powerful Jing was, I would have wanted to go with him. But since I can't use Nen, I don't really know what to do right now. And Mito's like, all right, well, then you're hitting the books and you're getting an education. I want you to really think about this. I want you to really think about this. If there is so many ways Gon could awaken his Nen again within about 3 panels, based on what we know in the series. For one, all it would take, the slowest method, is if he just meditates for about a day. That's the slowest method. He might be able to do it in like 5 or 6 hours, actually. That's the slowest possible method. Give him 5 to 6 hours of meditation, he has his Nen back. The other simpler methods is one, just get hit by any Nen emission attack of any Nen attack of any kind, the same way that Wing like forcefully awakened their Nen the first time. Gon was with Jing for a whole day. Gon told Jing, hey, I just made this extreme contract saying I'd risk it all, but here I am now. Jing didn't ask, wait, let me just see your Nen real quick. He could just hit him with a Nen attack right there, or just a quick emission attack. Oh, your Nen's good now. They didn't have any discussion. He's like, hey, they were talking about being a hunter, all these different hunts, all these different things. He didn't say, hey, can you just show me your Nen ability real quick? What's your Nen type? Nothing. They didn't have any discussion like that at all. They sat there, talked for an entire day, didn't mention Nen once. Well, the thing is, we know they mentioned Nen, because Gon was literally talking about it, bro. So, like, that's a plot hole, bro. And because of that, and then there's more ways, too. He could have just awoken it by just texting Killua. Killua straight up tells Gon, yeah, Nanika's the one who healed you. Nanika can solve any wish. And you got my phone number. Text me anytime. He's like, all right, bro. And he's like, yeah, we'll meet up after I go on an adventure with her for a little bit. He's like, all right. Gon could text Killua anytime and be like, hey, bro, can't see my Nen. Can you ask your sister to fix it? Bet. Has it back just like that. There's a million ways Gon could get his Nen back. It would literally take 3 panels. I said this in my other stream. I thought about it. You could do it in 3 panels. You have one panel where Gon's meditating, and then aura surrounds him. The next panel, he just says, I feel stronger than I did back then. You don't even need to elaborate on it. Just say, I feel stronger than I did back then. The third panel, he's charging up rock. That's it. 1 page, bro. And this could all be resolved. But we didn't get that, okay? Well, we haven't gotten that yet, at least, after 11 years. And the thing that really, this is what really bothers me. When I read this and I really sat and thought about it. This plot hole is why Gon is just sitting here reading books, when we could have had Gon with Jing right now. Gon could be with Jing right now, going to the Dark Continent, being trained by Jing. People want to say, okay, well, he's getting an education. Jing could have given him that education, bro. Jing has shown that he's like the smartest hunter in the series. He's smarter than like Harvard professors in their own field. Jing could be teaching Gon. Jing could be like, Gon, you know what? You got a lot of talent, but your weakest area is you just kind of suck at like math and stuff. So here's a bunch of math books. Like, I'm going to train you. In between training, you need to read these books. Like, that could have been a whole arc, bro. Like, this whole, like, and that would have been so sick. That would have been so sick, bro. Like, imagine Jing training Gon en route to the Dark Continent. Like, this could fix all of the Jing is a deadbeat allegations just like that. This could fix all of that. It's like we would see, Gon learning at an insane rate because he has a genius father just like him. And, like, he could just enhance Gon like crazy. Like, and it would just make up for the fact that, like, Killua grew up with his parents and got trained by his parents for 8 years. Let Gon be trained by his for 8 years. And this is what bothers me, guys. People literally, with a straight face, 100% seriousness, tell me that this is better than that. What are you guys talking about? What are you talking about? That is what bothers me, bro. Because, like, whenever I do my live streams, I try my best to stay chill. I really try my best to stay chill. I let people come onto the platform and, like, discuss concepts with me. But this is one thing I'm gonna just straight up say. What are you talking about? How in the world is Gon sitting at Aunt Mito's house confused? Because he doesn't know what to do, because he doesn't have Nen. He straight up says he doesn't know what to do right now. Now Aunt Mito's just making him do 12 times 12 over and over. How is that better than if Gon went with Jing and was getting the same education plus making up for all the time Jing didn't spend with him, plus teaching him Nen at an alarming rate, plus teaching him combat skills, plus teaching him like how to be a hunter, plus teaching him like things about life. How is him doing 12 times 12 better than that? Because people will straight up look me in the eyes and tell me that. And the only reason that didn't happen is because of a blatant plot hole why, for some reason, Jing didn't think it was a good idea to just ask, hey, Gon, show me your Nen real quick. After the whole day they sat there and talked. Miss me with that, bro. Miss me with that. Miss me with that, bro. Because I made a post on this yesterday. And, oh, wait, I got a super chat. Thank you, bro. Geo, thank you. He said, don't forget Gon is destined to meet Gyro someday, not go to the Dark Continent. I really couldn't care less about the Gyro plotline, I'm not going to lie. But anyways, thank you for the donation, but it's like, I don't really care about the Gyro plotline like that. Anyways, I made a post on this yesterday, okay? And I had said, I'm just going to pretend like chapter 345 and 344 don't exist. Because these are the chapters where Gon says he can't use Nen and he doesn't know what to do right now. Those were really the parts that I just didn't want to exist. In those chapters, we also find out about Dawn Freaksis, and we also find out about like Netero in his prime. He went on a mission to the Dark Continent, and it was too much for him. Those parts are good too, right? So really, what I really meant is just this scene with Gon saying that he doesn't have Nen, and if he did have his Nen, he would have went to the Dark Continent. The fact that he says that, I hate that, chat. It is the most annoying thing in the whole series to me. It is so annoying, bro. Because it's been like this since I was a kid. People have been defending this since I was a child. And it hasn't changed. It's like you can't even talk about how this is an objective plot hole, and it's annoying. You can't even mention that without like the fan base getting mad at you, bro. Like I posted that post, and people in my comments were saying like, "L take Lilo, power scaling brain rot. Oh, you don't appreciate the story." I'm like, bro, and people who were saying that, I was like, okay. Would you like to come on the live stream and debate this with me? Would you like to debate and explain to me why it's a good point? And you know what people were saying? They're like, oh yeah, I would love to, but I'm just busy right now. I won't be able to. And all these people who were like saying insulting things to me were like, oh yeah, I'd love to come on, but I'm just too busy right now. I won't be able to. And when I was reading these comments, bro, I actually got annoyed because I was like, bruh, what do you think this is? This isn't McDonald's, dog. Like, what do you mean? Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do the debate right now. Maybe some other time. Do me a favor. Name to me the other channel where people are just openly letting you come onto their channel and discuss Hunter x Hunter with them. Because they seem to act like this is just something you can do anywhere. The way people were responding to me, they're like, yeah, L take Lilo, you don't know what you're talking about. You barely understand the story. Power scaling brain rot. And I'm like, okay, you want to discuss this on the live stream? Oh yeah, I'd love to, but not right now, bro. What are you talking about? Okay, because like, quite frankly, bro, if you're gonna be disrespectful like that, I don't really care what you say then. That's my stance on it, because I really do try my best to be respectful, to be kind, and like give people a share this, like giving people a chance to actually explain yourself. But you don't want to do that. You just want to insult me because I'm not glazing 100% of the story, when a lot of the people who are trying to defend it, they haven't even been reading it as long as me, man. I've been reading this since I was 15. I'm 28, bro. I've been reading this for 13 years. I lived through these 11 years of hiatus, thinking all the time, man, I wish that Gon had just went with Jing. And when I just verbally say that, I get attacked for it. It's like, bruh, miss me with that. And people straight up try to say, like, oh no, it's a better thing that Gon doesn't have Nen. It's a better thing that he's doing 2 + 2 and 3 × 3, and doing his like his mathematics at Aunt Mito's house. That's better than him going to the Dark Continent with Jing and being trained side by side with Jing and getting all this wisdom from Jing. That's way better, man. Don't you understand the series, bro? I'm like, would you please just stop saying things to me, bro? Like, it's like, that just sounds like you're lying to my face when I hear that. Straight up. Straight up. Okay, so the reason I'm saying all these things is because now in Hunter x Hunter, we pretty much don't have Gon and Killua. I think, like, people say Gon's story is finished. Brother, Killua's story makes sense to be finished. Killua, from the start of the series, straight up says he just wants to be a normal kid. Gon, throughout the entire series, is just showing the mentality of, like, he's meant to be the greatest hunter. He has a natural love for fighting. He risks his life for strength because it's fun to him. Bro, legit, in Heaven's Arena, he fought a Nen user while Gon didn't even know what Hatsu was yet. And he went into Zetsu just so he could fight for an hour. Because it was fun to him. And you guys want to sit here and tell me it makes sense to you that he's just sitting at home doing 2 + 2 and 3 × 3? When he word for word says he would have went with Jing if he could just sense Nen? That's not true. I'm sorry. Like, you're lying to me. Okay? You're lying to me, bro. That's what that is. Okay? So, like, it actually annoyed me when I was reading all these comments, man. It actually did annoy me. Like, I wanted to do this live stream last night, but, like, last night I was too annoyed by it, so I wanted to chill out first and just really think about it and put it into proper words. But it's like, I've been dealing with this for 11 years. People were saying the same thing 11 years ago, and it was a lie then, and it's a lie now. It would objectively be a way cooler story right now if Gon was with Jing just training. He doesn't need to be the spotlight. Have him be in the background the same way he was in the York New City arc. I like that Kurapika's the main character of the Succession more. That's cool. Have Gon in the background training with Jing. And then the entire community can make a million videos talking about, oh man, what do you think Gon's learning from Jing right now? That's way more interesting than making just random theory videos of, oh, do you think Gon's a specialist? Oh, you think Gon will get his Nen back? That's not fun to me, bro. Just not fun to me. Straight up not fun to me. All right. So anyone who disagrees with what I'm saying, would any of you like to actually debate, like actually have a civil discussion about this? Because I've seen people defend this for 11 years. And I'll tell you what, I've never once seen a good argument for it. It's always just cope. It's always people saying, oh, really? Like, whenever I see these real arguments from people, what goes through my mind is they're saying, oh, no, Hunter x Hunter is the best thing I've ever read, so it can't have anything wrong with it. So even if there's something that's not that good, there has to be a justification for it. That's all I really have ever seen people say over the past 11 years. Oscar, are you saying you want to debate this? Oscar, if you want to, like, I would genuinely, this is an open discussion here. If any of you in the chat genuinely think that Gon staying at home doing mathematics is better for the story than Gon being with Jing and training, I would love for you to join the debate and we can discuss it. I'd like you to explain that. Oscar, you're willing to? King Shadow, you're suspended from the debates, brother. For a little while. Oscar, you want to debate? Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to be in the debate voice chat number 1. Oscar, hop in it and and we can do that. King Shadow, because the take you were saying in the last stream, I'm not gonna give a platform to that, bro. You were straight up trying to say that Killua's family's afraid of him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to debate that. I'm not going to like have that on my channel straight up. That was a point where I'm like, all right, you got to be on timeout for like 1 week, bro. Just like 1 week, because that's not something I'm gonna have on my channel. I appreciate your debates. They're fun. But that one was just going that's a little too much. All right, so Oscar, you said you'll hop on? All right, bro. Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, Oscar. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's crazy to talk to you. I've been listening to some of your streams. It's really cool.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm happy that that you're on the stream too, man.
Yeah, I'm packing right now. I'm leaving tomorrow, so still something to do in the meantime. Talk about Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, dude. I'd love to hear your takes on it, because I've heard people for a long time defend the idea that like Gon just being at school, being at Aunt Mito's house, no Nen, just like hitting the books. They genuinely think that that's better for the story than if Gon was with Jing training. So I'd really like to hear like your explanation to that.
Well, I should preface this by saying I haven't been reading it for that long, maybe only like a year and a half. I picked it up like a few months before the latest chapters came out. I watched like the anime, so I suppose I probably don't have as much of a connection to Gon and like the story as a whole than you do, I'd say. And I think that's a big thing. I think a large margin of the fan base that have like recently picked it up, I think. Mm-hmm. Or like, they haven't been following the manga for years and years, which I think is pretty crazy. You've been reading it for so long. I think that's pretty cool. What chapter did you first start reading it? What chapter were you like? You just got into it and it was like still being published?
I think like when I got caught up, I was like 15, so that was 13 years ago. I think the anime wasn't finished yet. Like the 2011 anime was only, I don't even know if it had 100 episodes yet when I got caught up. And
right.
Like I remember like, I think when I got caught up, like the last chapter I read was Gon and Killua going their separate ways. So it was like right before Gon talked to Jing, because I remember getting caught up reading that and being actually mad. So like, yeah. I was like 15. I remember being 15 years old, like 15 or 16, and I read that, and I was actually so mad. I remember that. So I think that's where it was. There might have been a couple more chapters, but I just remember that like vividly as a kid.
Yo.
Oh, well, who was that? Was that Grandmaster?
Yeah.
Well, what's up, Grandmaster? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I see you got the one review profile pic. In fire, bro.
The one review.
Oh, right, yeah, thanks. It's a JoJo stand.
Oh, classic.
Probably the strongest one.
Classic.
Do one of you actually want to continue this? Because I need to go pick up my mom right now.
Oh, yeah. Because I want to hear someone. I would really want someone to like explain to me why they think it's better for Gon to just be with Aunt Mito doing mathematics, when he word for word said, I would have went with Jing if I had just had Nen still, and Jing could have fixed that right there. So I would just like someone to explain that to me, because I'm open to like having my mind swayed. Really, I really am. Is there anyone here who would like to discuss that?
Mm, I don't know.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's all right.
I got nothing.
No, it's fine. Okay. Well, I guess there won't be a debate then.
Nah.
When people on YouTube are asking how do we join, it's on my YouTube channel, and people were also saying I should add it to like my like profile bio. I haven't added it to the bio because I tend to just like people who are either in the polls or like in the live stream to be in the Discord, because like if I just put it in my bio, then I think anyone would join. But I think if I just leave it in the polls, then it's more like power scaling people will join. But if you go to my YouTube channel, what's good, King Shadow? Just
I
one.
don't understand how and I didn't have any ill intentions. I wasn't trying to make you upset or anything like that. It's just my honest opinion.
No, you're not banned, bro. You're not banned. It's just the concept of like saying that Killua's family is scared of him and they put the Nen needle in him because they're scared of his power. Here's the thing, bro. Killua is already the most glazed character in the manga. If I let ideas like that go on my channel, people will start believing them, and it's gonna get even worse. People already tell me that they think Killua is a Royal Guard tier fighter, and that is like, that cannot coexist with the concept of Nen being a balanced power scaling system. It's like, you gotta pick one or the other, man. Like, you can't just say like, Killua, just because he thought of one ability, he's top one in the verse. You can't say that and then at the same time say Hunter x Hunter is a balanced, great power system. It's like you really do have to pick one or the other. And it's like, there's so many people who already think Killua's top one. I don't need that idea getting crazier than it already is. So that's why I was saying, like...
Okay, I can understand that logic, and I can, like, semi-agree with you right there. But then I also said that the needle had made him weaker, and you just disagree with that, and then you just love the debate, and I just don't understand why.
King Shadow, the needle makes him fight like an assassin. Without the needle, he fights like a hunter. That's the big difference. But it's like, here's the thing, man. If you really want to like push that kind of content yourself, you can. You can make your own channel, do your own things. But this is my channel, and I want it to go a certain way, bro. I don't want it to turn into a Killua glaze sesh. But
I see your point of view on things. Yeah, like look, like you're one of my favorite content creators. Like I'm not trying to like diss you or like I wasn't trying to be rude, right? But yeah, I can understand where you're coming from. But besides that, I could debate this topic. But mind you, I agree with you. Like Gon and Killua should for sure still be the main character. But to play devil advocate, there's also like other things to go about it. But before I even do that, since it's been so long, can I share with you the Nen theory I was talking about earlier,
okay,
like a couple live streams back?
Not at the moment, bro. Not at the moment, because I'm trying to do something right here. But a little later.
Okay, yeah. So,
all right, 1 second, King Shadow. Hold on. All right, so all right, guys, I just put them on mute. So like, here's like a poll that I did recently. This is how you can join the Discord. Like I saw some people in the chat were saying they wanted to join the Discord. So you go to my YouTube channel, you go to posts, and then you scroll down to this one, the Zoro versus Sanji poll. This is like the most recent one that has it as a pinned comment. You click on the comments, and then you go to the pinned comment, and that's my Discord link. You just click that, and then that'll take you to here, okay? But okay, because what I really want to discuss is is there anyone here that genuinely thinks that it's better for the story that that Gon is sitting at home with Aunt Mito doing math when he word for word says, "Hey, if I just had my Nen, I would have went with Jing." And we know like Jing would be training him, making him stronger. He can also get an education from Jing too.
may I?
Yes.
Who is that? Who just said something?
May I?
Oh yeah.
Hello?
Oh, Kobe. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Hello?
How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much, bro. Not much, bro. But yeah, Kobe. Yeah, Kobe. So. Oh, my fault. My fault. Real quick, Kobe. So you think it's better for the story that Gon has no Nen? He doesn't really know what he wants to do, and he's just doing math with Mito. You think that's better than him training with Jing?
I'm not going to say it's better, but I do think I could play devil's advocate to the point, and I do think there's reasons why the story is going that way, rather than him going to train with Jin. And my first point would be that Jin did everything in his power to not train him throughout his life. So I don't really see how it would make sense for him to even want to train him now. You understand what I'm saying? And I would say another point, the way that Gon lost his men, I really don't think that was like a smart decision that a hunter would make. I think he did that mainly off of emotion. And so there's like a cost that comes with that, in my opinion.
And real quick, Kobe. Sorry to interrupt you. Is there any way you could make your audio a little more clear? It's sounding like pretty muffled right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on my headphones, so it's not the best audio. I just wanted to try to play devil's advocate, though, because I do think there's a couple points that could be made as to why he's just there, studying math and stuff, and doesn't have any gear and things of that nature.
No, you're making good points. I'm just not sure if the viewers can hear you. I can hear you, but I don't know if the viewers can. What you were saying is you were saying like Gon made a dumb choice, like that wasn't like a smart hunter choice. It was just like selfish to the point of being dumb. And then you had also said Jing, this whole series has gone out of his way to not train Gon, so I don't think he would even want to. Is what you're saying?
Right. You see, I'm just saying, like, I feel like it should be a penalty for him making that decision.
Oh, yo, someone's got music playing.
Yo, fuck me, man.
Oh,
I'm about to say that's not me.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Kobe, no, those are fair points. Did you have any other points you wanted to say too?
Not really, because I don't necessarily agree that it's better for him to just be doing that. I would want him doing more in the story. But I do think there's also points, like if you look at it a different way, you could say, well, because he did this is why, he's just there doing that. So he doesn't have men because he made a really bad decision. He basically died. If it wasn't for Killua, Gon would be dead. And I think you got to take that into consideration. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're saying like, and I'm just like trying to sum it up in case the chat couldn't hear you. So you were saying that this is like the consequence he's paying for like doing something so crazy, right?
Right, exactly.
I see what you're saying. And I can understand that too, but it's like, I understand. My stance on it was like, he paid the consequence by almost dying. And Nanika's saving his life, like, he has aura in some way, and he can get it back. So it's like, why not just have that be resolved when he was with Jing for a whole day? Especially since, like, when he calls Jing, Jing instantly knew what was going on. All Jing had to do was just hit him with a wave of aura the same way Wing could. We know Jing can do that. Like, there's no way Wing is more skilled than Jing. So, like...
Yeah, but I don't think that's in Jing's nature to do something like that.
Just leave him.
Jin is more the kind of person to say, hey, figure that out yourself and come find me. Like, I think he's more of that kind of character rather than Linda helping him.
But it's also just kind of a plot. But the other plot hole is that, like, Gon said when he was around Jing, he couldn't sense his aura. Why didn't he say that?
Right.
Like, why? That's weird, right? Like, he goes around sensing people's aura all the time. Why doesn't he just say, hey, are you just massively weak? I thought you were supposed to be a great hunter. I'm feeling nothing from you. Like, that's...
No, I agree with that point. I agree with that.
That's also kind of a plot. They were there for a whole day, bro. Like, that's what... I just don't like that this line of dialogue was added here. That's why I made a post the other day saying, like, I might just start pretending that this part of the story doesn't exist. Because, like, I would just enjoy it more if I didn't know what Gon was doing at all. Then I could just say stuff like, "Bro, can you imagine how strong he's getting off screen?" Like I could just say stuff like that. But it is what it is, you know.
I think I think it's fair. Well, just one last point. I think it's fair to say that Gon could use like some book intelligence. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, like it just seems like his character lacks that kind of knowledge, and I mean that could be valuable to him in some kind of way. So I think in a way it's like helpful for him to get that knowledge, because I think it's fair to say that he lacks it. You know, just given how his character is. You know, so
I agree. Like in chat, he was saying that Gon lacks book knowledge, so this is a good way for him to get book knowledge. So I agree with that, bro. But yeah, thank you for sharing your points, man. Those are good points. I was hearing someone else wanted to go. Who was that?
May I?
Yeah, who's saying may I? Who? What name is it?
Anatary, the guy with the TN.
Oh yeah, bro. You can go. Just give me 1 second. My as is stream tradition, my cat's trying to box me right now. Hold on. I might have to move real quick. Actually, I think we'll be good, bro. I think we'll be good, bro. Yeah, go ahead. What's your stance
Before I
on
say
it, bro?
anything, can you guys hear me right?
Yeah, can hear you pretty good.
Alright, really good. Alright, first things, I just want to say, I don't think that Gon staying at home is, like, good for the story. I think it's much more interesting when you're saying that he's with Jing. I just don't think that the way Togashi has written the story since then, that Gon would be a good addition to the current narrative. I don't see him, like, adding much to the story at the moment. Like, we are in this succession war. Even Jing has barely gotten any screen time, and it'd be cool to know that Gon could get stronger, but at the moment, like, the story just isn't really taking him into account at all.
I agree with that, but it's like that was also what York New City was, though, because like York New City, Gon and Killua were just background characters, and I think it would be personally, I think it would be fascinating to have Gon just be in the background, like it's not focused on him at all. He's just, all you know is that he's with Jing, and you know that Jing's training him. That's all you know, and then the rest is just a mystery. And then I think that would be fire, bro. But think about just how much more interesting discussions would be, because we're talking about all this stuff going on with Karapika, all this stuff going on in the Succession War, and the whole time, you know, in the background, Gon's just like basically in the hyperbolic time chamber, Goku Gohan style, like, and you just have no idea how strong he's gonna be, and that would just create a much more exciting plot point in the future. Like I can easily, like, it's crazy how much more interesting that is. It's like 3 times as interesting, because I can just think of so many plot lines that they could do with that. Like, imagine we wouldn't even need to see Jing and Gon for 100 chapters. Then imagine there's some chapter they're fighting some monster. Jing's like, all right, Gon, you got this one, bro. And then we get to see Gon just do new stuff he's never done before, and like Jing critiquing him. Like, bro, are you kidding me? Are you being for like? I really feel like people are not being for real when they tell me that it's better for Gon to just be at home doing 2+2 than that.
I do agree with that, but you also have to take into account, like, what is Jing doing right now? Again, I just want to base this around the story that is being written, and Jing is currently having, at least to our knowledge, his sort of like intellectual light versus L 1v1 with Pariston, and I mean, it could also be really interesting to put Gon in that scenario, but I think it's just as interesting to focus solely on those 2 characters. I mean, with a writer as skilled as Togashi, I think you could definitely write Gon into that scenario, but I don't know, I think he hasn't put him in that scenario for a reason, that he just wants to focus on these 2, and I mean, it would be like a really weird, like, contrast. Like, here's Jing and Gohan, I'm sorry, Gon, having their like training father-son bonding moment, and then here's Pariston trying to, like, I don't know, intellectually one-up Jing and try to take him out.
Why?
I think that is like what Togashi's currently going for with Jing. And I also don't think Jing wants to train Gon, but I think Kobe already brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't. So you're saying you don't think he could do both? The thing is, bro, Gon is such a super genius. Jing tells him like 3 words, Gon will get 5 times stronger. He doesn't need to spend a bunch of time with him.
That is true. You're definitely correct with that, because Jing, if we go by Jing being like a top 5 non user years ago, he could train Gon to become like some insane fighter. But I think if the story was to really cut away and focus on Jing, I think Togashi would just like focus on him versus Paris. Then,
and that's, bro, what I'm saying is they can do that still. If Gon was there, have Gon be a background character with no spotlight, 0 spotlight. You have 1 line of dialogue. You can even keep it in character with Jing saying he doesn't want to train Gon. Let's say that Gon was there on the mission with him. He's like, all right, Gon, straight up, you're just too weak to be here right now. You need to just do like he gives him some kind of Nen puzzle. He's like, until you fix all your Nen weaknesses, don't come back here. Just go in that corner. Don't talk to me till you figure out all your Nen weaknesses. And we see nothing but him just like grinding. That's it. He's in the corner just like grinding, trying to get stronger. The rest of the time, you don't even see Gon. It's just Jing, Pariston, Light versus L battle. Exactly the same thing. Only difference is every now and then you just see Gon in the background doing like push-ups or like meditating. That's it. I mean, we look at like some of the people.
Cool.
Some of the people that are on this mission with him are fodder, bro. Some of the people that are on this mission with him are probably weaker than Gon anyway. So it's like the truth is, bro, the only difference is that the story would be better. It's the same story but better.
I just don't know. Like, again, Togashi has written it in a certain way where I think Gon being a background character, his role would be so diminished, be like way less than in York New City. Because you brought that up earlier, to where you said it'd be like in York New City. In York New City, we just have the Phantom Troop and Kurapika. But here we have so much more.
Bro,
you're showing us like one panel ago, and I'll be like, oh, this guy's still here. Yeah, I completely forgot about him. I don't know.
That's better, bro.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Bro, that's better than him sitting at Aunt Mito's doing math. What do you guys mean? Like, you guys are saying his role would be diminished. He doesn't have a role at all now. What are we talking about, guys? Like, because the reason why it bothers me a little bit is because people have been saying the same thing for 11 years, and it's never made sense to me. Like, here's the honest thing I think sometimes. If I had known that this is what was going to happen to the main character, I asked myself, would I have ever even read the manga? I don't have an answer to that, really. I might not have. Like, if 'cause here's an example. I have a friend right now who's watching Hunter x Hunter. It's his first time ever watching it. When he finishes the anime, I'm not telling him about this. I'll tell him, oh no, that's the end of it. Don't read anymore. I'm not telling him about this because I don't think
different experience.
I don't think it improves anything.
Even
I found the intro. I'm sorry. I'll just one more last thing. But I found the introduction of Beyond Netero and the way the Dark Continent was implemented. I found that really interesting. I mean, yes, Gon is not in the story, but I wouldn't like. To me, the quality of the story hasn't really diminished. For you, Lilo, I feel like the quality of the story has like plummeted, and that's what I don't get. Like, I would love to see Gon again, but is it really that much worse without him?
I'm not saying that the quality of the story has plummeted. I'm saying that the main character is useless now. Like, someone in the chat just said Gon's role now is to pass 4th grade. It's like, bro, I didn't like. Here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have really put this together yet. We pretty much spent 400 chapters for Gon to be a Leorio victim. That is the real. That's the real reality we're dealing with. And I'm just saying personally, if I had never read chapter 334 or 335, I would enjoy Hunter x Hunter more, because I get all the same information that everyone else knows. I know about the Dark Continent. I know the Dark Continent's a wild place. I know all that. But Gon's a mystery. I'd enjoy that more. Because what we got from Gon is like, hey, he doesn't have Nen for purely a plot hole reason. There's no real good explanation. He was with Jing for a day. He could have got his Nen back in just 1 second, but it didn't happen. He could get his Nen back if he just meditates for a couple hours. It didn't happen. He could get his Nen back if he just texts Killua. It didn't happen. He's doing math instead. Just deal with it. And here's Kurapika now. Like, look, bro, here's the thing, man. Kurapika's a cool character, but he's barely in my top 10 in Hunter x Hunter. Like, my top 10, Kurapika's probably like 8. Because if I go in order, it's like Gon first, then Meruem, then Killua, then probably Netero, then Hisoka, then Crollo, then Knuckle, then Kurapika. So he's 8. So I gotta watch a series with my 8th favorite character. I would have much more fun if freaking Hisoka was the main character of this arc, or Crollo. Like, I don't know, man. It's
There's new characters.
By the way, Izzy, I know Izzy wanted to talk.
Someone else wanted to say something.
Yeah, Izzy did.
Izzy, what's good, Izzy?
Yeah. Am I heard? Yeah. Okay. Here, let me walk away from this ice machine. Sorry, I'm at work right now.
No worries.
So, I know you're talking about Gon and how you want him to be in the story still, but one thing we need to realize is that, like that joke just said, Gon is a 4th grader. Like, he needs to mature. Like, the reason the spiders turned into the spiders is because they were little kids who went on a journey to be more noble than ever, and they turned evil. Like, if Gon didn't go back home to learn and get as smart as his dad is, then he...
Oh, hello? It went mute.
Her name. But, like, Gon, he needs to be at home for a while and grow up. Like, if he didn't grow up, he would turn into a spider. That's why they almost recruited him, because they seen what he was going to become if he didn't go on the right path. And that's why his dad let him go. His dad, at any point, been like, no, fuck that, you're coming with me. Sorry for cussing, but instead his dad was like, no, go back home. Because Gon needed the experience, or like he needed to grow up more, like to get more mature before he goes out and gets all these crazy powers that's going to turn him insane.
So
that's what I wanted to say.
Those are good points, but like my counter to that is this is a fictional story, right? I'm not reading this for it to be like dull. Like, why not just have Gon go through that with Jing? Why not just have him mature with Jing?
Jing really on mature?
What's that?
Like, I don't think so. Like, Jing is his own guy.
Why he's a deadbeat.
He said Jing's a deadbeat.
There you go. There's your answer. You literally made a whole stream why he's a deadbeat. I think we all know. It's a good thing that he's not with Jing right now. For me.
I think Jing would, like you said, he'd give Gon like a puzzle, and Gon would not mature at all with Jing. Like, he would not grow as a person.
That proves that Gon is not going to mature on the level that he needs to be. So it's quite literally.
That guy is not a good role model.
It's good for him to be in the sidelines for a bit until we get the other characters. Leorio, I'm hoping, you know.
Bro, but here's... Oh, go ahead, Lenny. My fault.
Yeah.
My fault. Go ahead.
Okay, listen. The reason why... Because Gon is my favorite character, right? But the reason why I say we need him on the sidelines, I'm just hoping to just get a little bit more Leorio, and I'm also waiting for Kurapika's death.
Well, bro,
I feel like they're gonna kill him.
Here's my...
Whoa.
Real quick, here's the thing that I'm just saying, guys. It's like throughout the entire Chimera Ant arc, when I was reading the Chimera Ant arc and I was watching Gon and Killua in the palace invasion, fight the royal guards, watching Killua go Godspeed, watching Knuckle, Morel, and Shoot do this crazy battle against Yuppie, I never once thought, man, I wonder what Leorio's up to. I don't care that much, bro. Like, I never once...
No, that's understandable. No, that's totally understandable.
Like,
I be downplaying Leorio a lot, despite me liking him. I've been calling him Sakura, bro. Like, he's just basically Sakura of the Hunter x Hunter, but like he's actually likable. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I like Leorio, but I think like Knuckles legit just a better Leorio anyway. But it's like I really think he's just a better. I think he's just a better Leorio. Because they're like the same character, but Knuckles just like more likable, bro.
They aren't the same character at all, really.
if you pay close attention in Chimera in the election arc, they're never once in the same place at the same time because they like legit fill the same role, like almost like they're always just the same guy.
They both have that Kuwabara energy. You can't deny.
That's what I'm saying. They're both the Kuwabaras. They're both Kuwabara.
They're both cool, but I don't think.
But I think Leorio is like a little bit more maybe endearing because like his motivation for becoming a hunter was like the most selfless out of them all. He's just doing it so he can like take care of people and stuff. But they're both very, very similar. They're both Kuwabara.
Do we know Knuckles' reason for becoming a hunter?
No, actually, no.
We had like a moment where he's like, I don't want to kill the Chimera ants, but I don't think we ever got a reason.
Yeah, we don't actually know. But does anyone else want to like back up the idea that this is better for the story than
Yeah.
because
yeah,
I think
yeah,
you guys made a good argument. Like Gon is
I can make a
maturing.
couple points Lula wants to get a chance.
Okay. There was two people who spoke just now. I think Zach went first, and then Kyle second.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
oh yeah, I can.
Yeah, we can
Yep.
just extremely soft-spoken.
Okay. I wanted to add something. The fact that Gun just gets to C2 level that fast, it must have a price. So if he just get back his name that easily, it will feel too easy, you know? I prefer that he's with me too. It will feel like more like a punishment for what he's done.
I agree with that, but I mean, from what we've seen in the story, it would literally take Gon like sitting down and meditating 5 hours, and he'd have his Nen back just like that. From what Wing was telling us, so, and the fact that that's still we haven't gotten a panel of that 11 years later, like, the big thing that makes it sink in is just that it's been 11 years, 11 real life years.
During these 11 years, Zoroto have some problem, you know. So
Yeah, I
can't really elaborate that much.
sorry, what was it?
I said that since Otto have some problem, he can't join that much. Like, because when you were talking about the fact that game could just unlock it for him, like game didn't really care about Gun. Why will he take Gun with him and go to an adventure and all this type of thing? He don't really care about him.
I mean, you might.
Like you said, we made a whole stream about him being a deadbeat. Let that sink in. I just want you to understand that.
Yeah, you might be right. He might just not care about him.
Bro,
I got a question about this though.
But Zach, those are really good points, man. And then Kyle, did you want to share something? And then we could let the other. I think it was Corn. You could go next after.
Yeah, it was Corn.
Okay. Wait, is Kyle still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, though.
No problem, bro.
I just want to say I'm coming from a slightly different perspective, just as like somebody who is a creator of art myself. And so like I sort of hear like two claims happening at the same time. One is like, is this better for Gon and Gon's narrative versus is it better for the story of Hunter x Hunter as a whole? And I think just think from the creator perspective, like I think this is not a great move for Gon's story. I think his narrative definitely has so much more potential, and there's so much richness that could be explored, and so many themes that could be explored in Gon by like allowing him to have Nen. But that Togashi's just sort of like squashed that potential because for him as an author, I think that there are certain themes that he is more interested in exploring and that he really needs to be passionate about exploring, that Gon just doesn't fit into that worldview anymore. And I think that if we're talking about like what would be a good story, I don't think Togashi's at a point anymore, like mentally, where he could write a good story for Gon. like I think maybe like if he were to pass the torch on to somebody else or like allow someone else to like write that story for him, that would be a great story. But I think he himself, because of his views on like the ideas of power and what great power actually means, he sort of wants to explore this idea that great power is a detriment to society and is something that only leads to harm, to evil, to inequity. And for Gon to be in a position to have great power, that would immediately put his worldview at odds with what Gon means, because the idea of Gon as like a protagonist in a power fantasy, power is the currency for the moral righteousness. And so I think that for Togashi, he had to write Gon out in a way where he cannot be associated with power anymore. And so I think that's my perspective, and that's my belief on like how Togashi's approaching the story, and why that makes it a better story, because Togashi has that freedom to explore these themes into depth in the way that he needs to make it a good story.
Thank you.
I think those are really solid points. Yeah, I like what you're saying there. And that might actually be just the real answer, honestly, like why he went this route with him. I just personally don't think this is like it makes sense that he's going through this like punishment. But when you just look at the whole story, it's like it's not even a real punishment. If he meditates for like 5 hours, he's back to normal, and we just haven't gotten that in 11 years. That's the part that bothers me. That's one. And then the other thing is like the big concept, I think the best argument for it is that this gives Gon room to mature, but it's like Gon himself says, like, he still is excited by power. That's what Gon is saying himself. He's like, if I could sense his power, I would have been hyped and went. So the only reason Gon's doing this is because he can't sense power right now. And once he meditates for 5 hours, he will sense power again, and he will just be the same guy again. So it's like, I think it would have just been more interesting to just have him be a background character with Jing and learn these lessons there. Like, I don't know. And it would also just like be a great thing for Jing's character too, because like he could get past the deadbeat dad allegations. He doesn't even need to do a lot, but
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I actually agree. I think that like what you said about Gon like having that potential to grow as a character, I think there was that potential. Like he could have, in learning, like rediscovering Nen, he could have maybe gone about it the correct way and not rushing into power. He could have maybe learned from his lessons. And I think that actually would have been a really great story. And I think, like, actually personally, because I've been following Hunter x Hunter a long time, not as long as you have, but it's been a big part of my life. And I think one of the most disappointing things, just like in general, with the way Togashi frames the story, is that he always sets up these really amazing plot points and then just sort of abandons them, like with Gyro and like with even like with like the Zoldyck family arc. He just sort of like sends these sets up these like amazing plot points and then just sort of like squashes them because he's not interested in anymore, and he's not passionate about like creating that story anymore, and so he has to create a different story, which I respect him for that, and I think that's why Hunter x Hunter has been such a really unique story. But I really agree that like there was so much potential in what Gon could have been.
Just 1 second, Moogie, because in my opinion, man, Gon is like Gohan but done way better. Like in my opinion, he's like a perfect version of Gohan.
Exactly.
Like a Gohan who has the potential and actually likes fighting, actually wants to actualize it by nature. He doesn't have to be forced to do it. It's like imagine if you had Gohan and he lived in a peaceful life, he would just be a normal kid. But Gon, he like chases battles, bro. Like, so it's, I mean, and this
also like Gohan didn't have to fight to earn it, like as soon as he starts training, then he's like way stronger. But like Gon, he has to continue to battle and lose and continue to have to like go over every hurdle and every hill. And it's like, it's amazing to see like Gon have to strive for that,
Exactly. It's just more interesting. And it's like, I really think like, so people are saying like a big thing Gon's doing right now is he's maturing and he has to pay a price for this. The price he has to pay is sit down and meditate for 5 hours. He's literally one of the most gifted Nen geniuses in the story. And like Wing shows us, like if Gon sat down and meditated for about 5 hours, he'd have his Nen back.
Is it really possible to just meditate and get back his Nen? With Wing have to unlock the Nen for them.
Yeah, but I've just made videos on it in the past. It was shown that like Zushi, If you do the slow method of awakening Nen, you do it by meditating. It took Zushi 3 months, and then Wing said if you guys sit down and meditate to awaken your Nen, it might take you a couple days. But then right after that, Wing says it's going to take you 5 years to beat Geto, and Gon does that in 1 day. So what that's telling you is like any estimation Wing's giving them is way longer than it actually would have taken. Like he said it would take Gon 5 years to do something that took him 1 day. So if Wing thinks it's going to take them a couple days to awaken Nen through meditation, Gon probably could have done it in 1 day, maybe a few hours. So like,
so how do we know for sure Gon can get his Nen back? Like, did he not make a Nen vow to like not be able to use Nen anymore with Pito?
Well, it's because Jing says that he has aura still.
Well, don't you need aura to live? Doesn't all living beings have aura? That doesn't mean he can use Nen again.
So we actually don't know the vow that Gon made, because Pito just speculated that Gon made a vow not to use Nen again, but we don't actually know what his condition was.
That's true. And also, it's like...
I feel like... I feel like narratively they're implying that, like, Gon's not able to use Nen anymore, right?
Well, I mean,
he won't be
that's...
able to in the future.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's unknown. It's like maybe that's like so I would say that's the lowest lowball interpretation of Gon possible. That like, yeah, he doesn't have the ability to ever use Nen again, even though he has aura. And also another thing is like Killua was with Gon and he doesn't mention anything like, hey man, you just seem massively weaker. He doesn't say anything about it. So it's like, it seems like he still has most of his power, but it's just an unknown. We don't even have an answer to it. And the other thing is, Nanika, like Killua's sister, she can literally grant any wish. If it was like she saved him from the restriction already. Like the restriction was so insane that he was just cooked, like turned into a mummy, and she fixed that.
But the only thing that Naika did was heal him. Didn't say like restore his Nen or like everything else.
Well,
so like how I understood it, Nanika only healed Gon, but didn't like remove the Nen restriction he made when fighting against Pito.
Well, it said that it returned him to normal, and the Nen restriction was what was killing him. So like, if the Nen restriction was still there, he'd be dead. But the other thing is, to be completely honest, if it really, because what you're saying, that's the lowest lowball interpretation possible. I could just as easily say he has all of his power still, but just can't see Nen, and there's actually nothing proving that wrong. But if we use your interpretation of it, you could just say, all right, just text Nanika and say, hey man, fix this. All right, bet. Because it's stated that Nanika has no limits.
We don't even know all the restrictions on Nanika's power and what Killua can and can't do.
Well,
I'm not fully convinced that Killua can just ask Nanika to do absolutely anything either.
But Killua already said like Killua said that she can probably grant any wish, but it's like she's already. So I would say this: fixing the state Gon was in is probably more insane than just like, hey, I already have aura, help me see aura again. That seems like a smaller wish to me, quite frankly. Especially when there's multiple people throughout the, like, especially when he's describing his symptoms, he sounds exactly like he did at the start of Heaven's Arena, and it's stated that he's back to normal, and like Jing says like your aura seemed fine to me. Like, I don't know, if there was something else, Jing probably would have sensed it.
Yeah, but doesn't that like take away from the narrative of Gon trying to sacrifice everything just to defeat Pito? I feel like
not really,
if
because
that was the case, they wouldn't even have mentioned that Gon can't see Nen anymore.
Not really.
I think the fact that they brought it up in the first place is like implying that Gon can't use Nen anymore. If not, they wouldn't have even like mentioned it in the story.
I mean,
it won't be too surprising if Gon gets Nen due to the fact that he was foreshadowed to meet Gyro. Of course, what Kyle said before, Togashi banning the idea. I don't think so, despite it being 11 years, right? It's just that he was mostly on hiatus.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Gon himself, he meets up with Kite. He meets up with Kite after being regenerated again, and he says, he tells Kite, I was too weak, and I left you to fight Pito on your own. Next time, I'm going to be strong enough to stand by you. He also has a line of dialogue with Jing where he tells Jing that he should have died instead of Kite. And Jing says, no, you were just too weak. Make sure that doesn't happen again. He's like, all right. Gon all throughout the series has kept every promise he ever made. He's going to get stronger. That's one of his promises. He'll just do that. I don't really see why you think that Nanika wouldn't be able, like, even if we go with your idea and say, okay, Gon is hit with a Nen restriction right now. The Nen restriction makes it so he can't use Nen. He already got rid of the more dangerous restriction. The more dangerous of the two restrictions is he's literally turned into a raisin. So like there were two restrictions. One is that he's going to turn into a raisin and die, and the other one is the one that you're implying, that he could never use Nen again. They already got rid of the more dangerous of the two. So why could they not get rid of the easier one now? I don't understand where that logic comes from.
Well, no, I'm not saying they can't. They would probably just need a Nen exorcist or something, but I'm just like saying that now. I don't think he's able to use Nen.
Hold on a second. Because Nanika is more powerful than like any Nen exorcist that they knew of. That's why, like, Morel was calling tons of Nen exorcists and they were like, nah, we can't do this. So why do you think a Nen exorcist could do something Nanika can't, when Nanika already did something no other Nen exorcist could?
Because Killua's specific wish was just saying heal Gon, not like take away his Nen restriction.
Yes, I'm saying if there's another restriction, why can't he just fix that too? That's what I'm saying.
Because they went their separate ways, like it wasn't.
He has Killua's phone number.
I don't think Killua knew like.
I'm sorry, guys. Can I just say something real quick?
Wait, hold on. I want him to finish these points. Hold on a second. What were you saying?
I don't think Killua, like, you know how you said that Killua didn't say anything? I don't think he knew that it didn't, like, bring back Gon's Nen.
Yeah, what I'm saying,
Killua said something, but
what I'm saying is, Gon has Killua's phone number. He, when they go their separate ways, Killua says, "Yeah, I'm gonna text you. We can talk." And then they also say like, "We'll hang out again once I'm done, like, going on this adventure with her for a while." Why would Gon not get his Nen back if he has a plethora of ways to do it? Like, he can just go and be like, "Hey, Killua," like, he can text Killua right now, "Hey, bro, can't use Nen. Fix it, please." And then she's like, "All right, bet. Here you go." Why not just that?
maybe he just wants to live a chill life with Aunt Mito right now.
He word for word said if he had power, he would have went to the Dark Continent. And like everything about him, the whole series has been showing that like he will literally risk his life just to get stronger. And yeah, he also hold on. He also straight up told Kite, "I will get strong enough to stand side by side with you." Like, so at the lowest you could say he's saying he's going to become as strong as Kite, or you could say he's saying he'll be strong enough to beat someone like Pito on his own. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sorry if it feels like I'm pressing you a bit. It's just I've heard arguments like this for 11 years, and I have never understood them.
I think the whole point, if he could just meditate and get his Nen back, I feel like he would have. That's like the one thing that like confuses me about your point when you're saying that.
Well, it confuses me too, because I don't understand why it's not happening and we don't get an explanation. I've been waiting 11 years for the explanation.
I'm injecting a lot of headcanon into it, to be honest. Like, I don't think he can meditate. I don't really think that would fit the narrative of the story for him to just meditate and get his Nen back. Like, Gon is still a little kid. It's only grown men who are on the top of the Nen stuff. Gon has to grow. Like, he's not the only main character in the story. There are like, what, 4 other main characters that we can go on, and that's what we're on currently in the story. I think it's better for us to focus on them while Gon grows. Gon isn't smart. He's not as smart as his dad, not nearly. Gon can still very much get tricked by a lot of things. I think he needs to be a teenager before he goes out and does anything at all.
Well,
honestly.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, in the Heaven's Arena arc, Gon meditated naturally with no one telling him to do it. Like, after he got his arm broken, Killua was talking to Wing, and Wing was like, "Okay, tell Gon he can't learn anything new about Nen, but he can meditate. Let him know that he can meditate." Killua goes back to the room. Gon's already just naturally doing that. So it's like, I'm not using headcanon. I'm referencing the story to make logical conclusions. But does anyone else want to like defend the idea that this is actually a better thing for the story than Gon just going with Jing? Because I hear you guys are making like, so far. Here's the thing, I've heard a bunch of arguments for why it makes sense. I haven't heard a single compelling argument as to why this is better. Not once.
It's better because after the Chimera Ant arc, I didn't like Gon. Like, I did not like him as a character, and I didn't want him in the story because
That's crazy.
Can I finish?
Wait, relax, guys, relax, chill. Chill. Hold on, let me. No, relax. Oh, no.
The way Gon went about the Chimera Ant arc, the end of it, I did not like it. I did not think it was Gon. I thought it was, I think, like how I was saying earlier, I think Gon was going evil. Like, if he would have stayed on that path, I personally think he would have became a spider. Like, that's the path he was going. And Togashi moved him from that. That's my headcanon. We're all speculating with the story. We're all using headcanon. Like, I thought Gon was turning evil. I'm like, that doesn't seem like a nice, friendly Gon. Gon wouldn't do that.
Bro?
That seems like something, what?
I'm not gonna lie, my guy, you're jumping through hoops.
No, hold on. I see what he's saying. Because hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys. Because I see what he's saying. Because throughout the series, they've always said like Gon was walking a fine line, and like something that was said about Gon is like he will just chase whatever interests him through pure curiosity. So like if he's around evil people, he can become evil. That's like something that's been said about him from the start. But it's like what I'm saying though is if he's with Jing, that can just not that can be corrected. Like,
and you're right about that. I don't know if Gon. You said this. Look at it this way. Gon said it himself. If he saw Jing's power, he'd go with him. Is that really a positive thing? Is him being near Jing and Pariston, these two like Godzilla and King Kong, and he is just fucking Sasquatch? I don't think that would be a good thing for Gon as like a person. I don't think he would develop in the right way. He might grow in power, he might be cool, he might do something, but it would be like a really toxic environment. And I think Togashi was trying to warn us through Gon's like wilding out that he did, that this like this insatiable curiosity and this unending pursuit of power is a bad thing, because what did Gon really achieve through his sacrifice? He achieved nothing. He killed Pito, but she would have probably died anyway through the radiation, and Kite was still alive. So I don't know if Gon going with Jing would have been a good thing for him. It might have just been a repeat of what happened before.
yeah, that's possible. I mean, I just don't see how it's more interesting like this though. I mean, like my stance would be different if Gon like if over these 11 years Gon was already smarter and like these things that you guys think are going to happen had actually happened, but they haven't yet. Like we don't really know what's going to happen from him like being with Mito. He might be with Mito. Like let me tell you this. This is worst case scenario what happens. He just retires. He never does another thing ever again. That's one real possibility. Another option is he stays with Mito for a few years, comes back smarter after a time skip, but he's still the exact same guy, still goes down the exact same path. Like, so I don't know. I would just rather these character development things you guys are saying, just have them happen with Jing. Like, it can still happen with Jing. Just have Jing correct him.
Lilos.
What's that? Huh?
Jing is not a good father figure. Why would Jing just surround Gold and just be like, oh, I'm just going to train you, you're going to be around these dangerous people? Gold is 12. If Jin was actually a good father, you wouldn't want him around these people. But he's not. You made a whole stream about him being a deadbeat. He's not a good father.
It's true, but what I'm saying is, I'm saying like what would be more interesting to read. Like,
oh no, of course, more interesting. No, I completely understand.
I mean, you can make a good like it's a good chance that Jing would just let him train and whatever, but I'm just saying it would be far objectively more interesting than like having the first main character we get. He's literally the first character introduced in the manga is gone, and now this dude's pretty much done. Like, there's a real chance he's just done. Like, we could get, let's say we got another 200 chapters of Hunter x Hunter, Gon's in none of them, and the series ends. That's a real possibility for the story. So
I don't think so. I feel like no.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you, Shadow.
It was getting set up. I still believe that Togashi's still gonna try to set it up in some way for Gon to get back into the story. I don't think Gon is just completely written off. 100%. Yeah, he may not be here right now, and it's been like a lot of years, but that was only due to the fact that Togashi's condition. Yes, Togashi could have just written and have someone else draw, like his wife, because she offered, but his ego just wouldn't let him. That's why we got this in the first place. That's why we waited so long.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like what I'm hearing from you guys, I think the most compelling argument for like why it's better for Gon to not be with Jing right now is because he does have the potential to turn into a villain, but it's like we're already seeing Gon as like having a moment of self-reflection where he's saying like my initial goal was to just catch Jing, but once I met him, I like didn't even view him as a father. Like he's already having some self-reflection. I think it would be more interesting writing to have Gon with Jing, he's training with Jing, and he reflects on his past mistakes while he's there. Because he's shown like regret towards it. Like he has a line of dialogue where when he wakes up, he's like, I can't believe I treated Killua that way. He tells Leorio that. And he apologizes to Killua. And he apologizes to Kite. And like he's apologizing to people for what he did. So it's like, I think... Well, one sec. I think it would be interesting, far more interesting, to just have Gon with Jing, have him have moments of self-reflection and be like, I can't be the crash out I always was. I have to like be better. And like, I think that would be just better. Like, I think that's much more entertaining than having Gon just hitting the books and we don't know if he'll ever do anything ever again. Oh wait, and I also saw we got a new membership too from somebody during the stream. It was Galeno. Thank you for becoming a member, Galeno. I appreciate it, bro.
Also, King Shadow asked to be unmuted in the chats.
On a later stream. But
I wanted to add something. The fact that Gon will stay with Jin, it will be consistent with the character of Jin. I don't see Jin taking care of Gon and taking with him. It's strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible Jing just wouldn't care about him, but it's like, as the author, Togashi can just make Gon have moments of self-reflection and make Gon not be a villain now. Like, he's paid some pretty big consequences, so he can just have him have these reflections on his own. Like, he doesn't have to stay the same way. So, but alright guys, I think I'm going to close out the debate here. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for sharing their points.
As your new King Shadow, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
But yeah, on a later stream, I'll let him. But wait, Corn, did you go? Like I remember you wanted to say something earlier. Did you get to share?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't share. My fault. Wait, go ahead, Corn. Share your points.
My thing is, what would be his next biggest goal other than getting stronger? I don't see him like having to be in a hurry right now to get super strong at this current moment.
Well, he said at the start of the series, he'll come back a great hunter, and he hasn't done that yet. So while he's with Jing, he can do that.
Come back to Whale Island?
Yeah, like
Or come back to Jing?
To Whale Island, like when he
I wouldn't agree with that. He's done plenty as a hunter.
He's literally not even a starred hunter, bro. He's a rookie.
Yeah, but he beat Green Island. He participated in the palace invasion.
But
I think those two are pretty good accolades.
But he like, in terms of hunters, he's kind of fodder, bro. Like he doesn't have a star. He doesn't have a specialization. He didn't even learn all the things an enhancer can do. He never learned enhancement-based healing. He doesn't even know all of the Nen techniques. He never learned En. He never learned En. His aura control was still sloppy. And like his Hatsu, one of them was still pretty much unusable. He's a baby, bro. Like he's not a great hunter.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, what would be his goal? Because for most of the series, he was just the father hunter.
Yeah, so I mean,
to be honest,
and that can be part of his development too. Him just like discovering what he wants next. I mean, he still wants to be a great hunter, so him just being with Jing is part of that. And he also showed like he still is like fascinated by power, so he would just follow that too. But I mean, these are all things that he could just figure out with Jing. That I think that would be more interesting, personally.
Right, but also at the same time, what would he add to the current story? Because it's like way more darker than what it used to be. he would have to like backtrack to his Chimera arcs of.
Well, what I'm saying is he adds a lot just being off screen. Like, so he doesn't even need to be in the story. Just have him with Jing, have him training with Jing, and have him learning stuff on his own. And we don't know what any of that is. It's all a mystery. While we're focused on Kurapika, we like barely even see Jing and Gon. Maybe like, let's say that it goes on another 200 chapters. We see like 1 or 2 pages of just Jing with Gon, and that's it. And the rest is just us like theory crafting. What could he be learning? Who is he becoming? What's happening? That's much more interesting than what we have right now, where Gon's just hitting the books and we don't know when we'll ever see him again, or if we'll ever see him again, or if he even has powers, or if he's just done. We don't know. He might just go and live a normal life now.
You know, the way how I always saw it was like he would eventually return, but it's gonna be like later on in his life, like maybe late teen era, more mature, knowing what he's like supposed to be doing and whatnot. Like probably graduated from high school. I don't know, but I kind of see him like a more mature Gon could be like reintroduced to the story and how it is right now. But I can't see like a 12-year-old kid Gon in the background with all this mature theming and whatnot. I mean, at least like not the way how he is right now.
But I mean, that was what York New City was. Gon was just in the background with a bunch of stuff happening that he didn't understand at all.
Right.
So it would just be York New City again. And that's what people call the Succession War anyway. It's like York New City 2.0 because Kurapika's the main character again. So I don't know. People didn't complain about it in York New. I don't see why it would be a problem here. I think it would actually just be a more exciting York New.
Nearly as mature.
What's that?
I think the Succession War is way more mature than York New City, and I think it's also kind of strayed away from the battle theme. There's barely any battles in the Succession War, at least so far. I mean, when was the last time we've seen a fight? I don't know how Togashi. I think we gotta like accept one thing, that the story is probably gonna end sooner or later. And with the themes that Togashi is currently trying to explore, I don't think he just wants to have Gon in there, like getting stronger. It would definitely be more interesting. I said that earlier, but the way the story is going, the men training and power progression, I think that one is like done with. I don't think he has anything more to say with that. There'd be more potential,
but that's. I
don't think he wants to see that.
But what I'm saying is.
That's my take.
But what I'm saying is we don't have to see any of it. I'm saying just like, I'm saying you can just have Gon with Jing in the background. We don't see any of it. And the other thing you guys are saying is like, Gon needs to develop as a person. He needs to become a better person. He needs to fix his mindset. All of that can happen off screen with Jing. It's
not even a better person.
Well, from what a lot of people are saying, they think Gon being with Mito, this development's going to happen off screen. This development can happen off screen with Jing too. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, it's just objectively more interesting.
I feel like the other characters we have now are interesting enough to where they can carry the story. Like, we got the Phantom Troop, we have Hisoka, Kurapika. I think they're interesting enough and engaging enough where we don't necessarily need Gon.
I agree.
Story.
I agree with it. I agree with that. But the way things are right now, Gon might just be done, period. Like, that's what I'm saying. That, just the mystery of that is annoying. Like, we don't know. Is Gon coming back? Is Gon going to be training right now? We don't know what Gon's doing. For all we know, Gon could have hit the books, the next day said, screw these books, went and like texted Killua, got his Nen back and is training right now. We don't know what's happening. I would like to have a solid understanding of what's happening. I would like to know, like, here's my ideal scenario. He goes with Jing. He's like, hey Jing, can you unlock my Nen for me? He's like, nah bro, you got to do it on your own. Meditate over there, hit the books, all this, and then like, and he's like, and you know what, you told me about that crash out you had, you don't have the right mentality for this stuff, you got to work on your mind. Like, have him do all that there, and then we know what's happening. We know Gon is changing as a person, and all the stuff you guys are saying, it's still happening, but we know it's happening instead of just hoping it's happening. Because right now, we don't know what's happening with Gon. You guys are hoping that Gon is going through this personal development, hoping that Gon will come back to the story, hoping that maybe he still has Nen, hoping that he's becoming a better person. You guys don't know that.
Yeah, you're right.
What I'm saying is I would like to know that these things are happening. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I've never understood this argument, because it's like people are straight up saying, you know what? Yeah, the main character that we spent 400 chapters with, I'm okay with having absolutely no understanding of what he's actually doing, and maybe he's done forever. Yeah, that's good. That's good for the story. It's not, bro. I'd much rather him just be with Jig and us knowing what's happening.
All right. I mean, he could get his goal of finding Jing at least. Like
two things, right? Two things. One, he found his dad. All right. Some people can be satisfied with that, you know. Another thing, right, that I was trying to get out earlier.
Oh, you just went mute, bro. Hello. Wait. Oh, okay. I don't know what just happened.
Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing music. I don't know. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Another thing that you were saying, oh my gosh, I just forgot my point. Sorry, I was waiting for hours, bro. I was trying to get my point across.
It's all right. Well, guys, I think that's it for today then.
There you go. Just end the stream. I was waiting too long to get my point across.
Oh no, it's all right,
Good
guys.
talks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody for the discussion points. Those are good points. And you guys did like.
You something really quickly.
Oh yeah, what's good?
Would you be happier if Hunter x Hunter had just ended at the end of the Chairman election arc, and then this new Succession War arc is just a new story with different characters with the same plot lines?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because
It practically is.
Didn't use like Nen or anything.
yes, because I'll just be honest. It's always this plot line with Gon has always annoyed me. It's annoyed me for 11 years, because like I said, I remember when this chapter came out. I remember reading it and thinking to myself, well, what do you mean he can't use Nen? What do you mean he has aura but can't see it? What does that mean? And like I remember Googling it over and over, no one having a video on it, no one having an answer to it, no one even discussing it. And like people just saying, "Oh yeah, it's good for the story, bro. It's good for the." And I'm just sitting here like, "What are we talking about, bro? Like what's happening? I want to know what's happening." And 11 years went by, I still don't know what's happening. I would have way preferred if the story had just ended after the chairman election arc. I would have preferred it, yes.
Yeah, I think it's more boring for the story in general, but it's like how I see it is like Gon literally gave everything to kill Pito. Like he wasn't supposed to, you know? So I think Togashi, he wanted to, I think he kind of wanted to just end Gon's story right there, but he might have just been too scared to, right? Because you're killing the main protagonist, you know?
He foreshadowed Gon returning back with Gyro.
I just want to say one thing to that Gyro.
That's how people know Gon is going to come back, is because of Gyro.
Yeah.
That was the point I was trying to.
But I still think
the Gyro thing.
All right, well, let's just do like one more point here, because I want to.
I keep telling you this, you're not listening.
With Gyro, like that implies he'll come back, right?
Yes.
Well, okay, but and you're probably right on that. And Anna and Terry, you want to share one more thing, and then I'll just close this out.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing about the Gyro thing that further just supports this whole like Gon has kind of been written out of the story. Gyro's foreshadowing that he's meeting Gon happened in 2003. That has been like 22 years.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, bro, it's just
I don't even know if Togashi remembers Gyro, man.
It's just there's been so many hiatuses, because like Yu Yu Hakusho has around as many chapters as Hunter x Hunter, and it got written in 4 years. But Hunter x Hunter's been going on for like I think 27 years, and most of that has been hiatus time. So, like if you add the actual like writing, there's 410 chapters, so that's 410 weeks. How many years is that of actual writing? That's like. Is it 8? I think that's about 8 years of actual writing, maybe. So, out of the 27 it's been going. So it's been mostly hiatus, sadly. But all right, guys. I think that's it for the debate here. But thank you everybody for coming in. You guys did make good points. I think like the biggest thing I gained from it is like if Gon had kept going, maybe he would have became a villain. But it's like Togashi just simply has to not write that, you know, like just simply like just have him go with Jing and have him have moments of self-reflection. And I think that would make Gon a way better character too. Like have him just sit there thinking like, you know what, I was crashing out before and I was mean to Killua. And I was doing crazy stuff. I can't be that way anymore. Like have him have a moment of self-reflection. Then Gon goes from a good character to truly like great, you know. But anyways,
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, that's everything for this debate. Thank you guys for all your points. I'm just gonna talk to the YouTube chat now.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you guys. All right, chat. What did you guys think of all that? I saw Kagito was saying something. What were you saying, Kagito? I saw someone say that Lilo needs to hear this. What did I need to hear? I'm looking through, but what did you guys say that I needed to hear? I'm looking through the chat, but I don't see anything. Kagito, could you repeat the point that you wanted me to hear? What was it? I don't know what you guys wanted me to hear. What was Kagito's point? I'm scrolling through trying to find it. Yasha, you said, I think Gon is in a similar spot like Thorfinn in the farm arc, and Togashi is going to develop him into a better person before getting Nen back. I'd like that. I think that would be cool. What was the thing that you guys said I needed to hear? Kagito, you said there was a few, but my most recent was... Can you guys like copy and paste it? Like what? Because I'm trying to find it. There's just so many comments. I want to read it. If there is something like very important you think I'm missing, just let me know. I'm looking through the comments. I don't see anything. All right, bro. I don't know what you guys wanted me to see. What was it? Oh, Kagito, you said basically that turning Gon's net off was a hint from the author, letting the audience know they can ignore Gon for now and focus on what's unfolding on the whale. And that Gyro is the promise that Gon will be back. I mean, I don't know, man. I wish we just knew what was actually happening. Yasha, you said, while yes, it would be more interesting to see Gon develop as a person while he's with Jing, I honestly feel Togashi is done with Gon at the moment. Maybe he is. Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I really sometimes just think about, like, if I knew that this is what the manga was after the anime, I don't know if I would have read it, bro. I really think that sometimes. I think to myself, like, if I had known that this is what it was going to be, I would have just stopped at the anime. But, or I would have skipped chapter 334 and 345, and I'd enjoy it much more. Because it has always bothered me. It's always bothered me. I'm like, bro, what is he doing? What is Gon doing? I want to know. And that's why I titled this, Does Hunter x Hunter Need Gon and Killua? Because, like, a lot of people tell me they're completely okay with Gon not being in the story. That's fine. But are you completely okay with him never being in the story again? I'm not really fine with that. I know, DDK. Yeah, he didn't intend for us to wait this long. I agree. Cogito, you said you really dislike the Succession War that much, or is it that you like Gone that much? I would never say I wish I never started Hunter x Hunter. No, I like the Succession War. I dislike this line of dialogue where we don't know if Gon can use Nen again. We don't know his Nen situation. That's what I dislike. And it's like, I would gladly have not read any of the Succession War, any of this, if I just didn't know that. Like, if I had just only watched the anime, I would enjoy all of it more, probably. Because I've been through this for 11 years, guys. I've been waiting for an answer for this for 11 years. And it's like, I wish I had, sometimes, I'm happy with like the bit of the Succession War I got, but like when I'm being honest, what did I get from the Succession War so far? I see Kurapika's powers, Hisoka versus Chrollo was peak, so I'm happy I saw that. And then what else did I get? There's Dawn, Phrixus, and then there's, we know how dangerous the Dark Continent is. So those are 4 really cool things. Everything else is just build-up chapters. But it's at the cost of not knowing what's going on with Gon. I would have rather just not known those cool things. Or it would just be like what I said before, like just skip. So when I made the post saying I'm going to just pretend chapter 344 and 345 don't exist, what I really meant was I just want to pretend these chapters where Gon says he doesn't know if he has Nen or not. I want to pretend those pages don't exist. We can keep everything else. Because like if those pages where Gon says he doesn't know if he has Nen or not, if they weren't there, then in my opinion, I would just have no complaints with Hunter x Hunter at all. It would literally just about be a perfect shonen to me, like literally perfect. Snailium, you said people have started and finished entire manga and anime in that time frame. Yeah, truth. Kagito, you said, but again, your biggest and strongest point in the time that has passed IRL, 10 years is the time that has passed IRL. 10 years left on Red is kind of wild. Yeah, it's tough. Well, it's not that it's 10 years of hiatus. It's 10 years of I don't know. It's 11 years of what's going on with the main character. I don't know. We have theories, but we don't know. That's it. That's the real problem. It's 11 years of I don't know what's going on with the main character of the story. And I think to myself sometimes, like, if Gon and Killua were just never in the story, would Hunter x Hunter have been the smash hit success that it is? If it was just Leorio and Kurapika, probably not. Probably not. So I just don't like the situation with Gon. I don't, bro. Yasha, that's true, bro. You said 11 years IRL, but how many chapters really? It's been 65 chapters since this one. So, I don't know, man. I mean, people made some really good points that Gon could become a villain. I don't want Gon to become a villain. What I would like is, I mean, bro, just have it be the Goku Gohan situation, go into the hyperbolic time chamber, but instead of hyperbolic time chamber, it's the dark continent arc, man. Have Jing just training Gon, teaching him all the stuff that he doesn't know. And this could just fix like the Jing deadbeat allegations, everything. Like you could turn Jing around and make him an excellent character by doing that. DDK, I agree, we don't need to care about Gon, but I do care about Gon. I do. He's my favorite character in the manga. And it's like, I don't want him to just be in this like limbo state. Why is Kurapika only at an 8? Do you have something against his writing, or is it just preference? No, it's just that Hunter x Hunter has a lot of great characters in it, and I just think the other 7 are cooler. Like, I like Gon more, I like Merwin more, I like Killua more, Netero, Knuckle, Hisoka, and Morel. I think they're all just more interesting. than Kurapika. So it's not that Kurapika's a bad character. It's just Hunter x Hunter is packed with great characters. Galeno, you said Gon is easily my favorite main character ever. Bro, he is Gohan done perfectly, in my opinion. He's just the most interesting version of potential I've ever seen. And he's kind of just like a blank slate character. That's kind of what's spoken about him. He can become whatever he's put into. So, I mean, I understand people, like, I think the strongest bit of evidence, the strongest argument I heard in that whole thing was someone saying that Gon could become evil. And I think it's like, have him struggle with that. Have him, like, overcome that with Jing, though. And, like, have him mature with Jing. And it's like, that would make him so fascinating, bro. Like, have him in a situation where he would have crashed out as a kid, but he's not crashing out now. It would just be so fascinating, bro. Knuckle more interesting than Kurapika? To me, he is, yeah. I just like that character archetype. Like, he's like the Kuwabara type. And, like, I like that his ability is so powerful that, like, pretty much the only weakness, one of the only weaknesses he has is that he's too nice. I think that that's a very interesting concept. Because it's spoken about the whole time when he's training Gon and Killua. They're like, why is he just here with us and not on the mission? He's like, oh, he's probably just too nice. While he's, like, fighting Gon, he's helping him the whole time and, like, almost gets knocked out because of it. It's like, and throughout the whole palace hunt, he, like, puts the mission in jeopardy because he's too nice multiple times. I like that about his character. I think that's sick. Yeah, DDK, I did read the Kurapika backstory. It is really good. Yeah, Kurapika's a great character. It's just there's others I like better. But alright, guys. I guess that's everything for this. You guys made some good points. I still am of the belief that I just wish that he went with Jing instead. And all of this character development stuff, that all could have happened with Jing. But what it is. So, yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the comments. I might put this one to members only. I'm not sure. So, yeah, I'm thinking this stream I might end up putting to members only. I'll think about it. I'm not exactly sure yet. But, alright, guys. Let me know in the chat right now. Do you guys think I should put it to members only? What do you guys think? What do you guys in the chat think? Do you think I should put this one to members only? Because this is a concept, like the thing is, bro, I try to be as chill as possible during these streams, but this is the one thing that has bothered me for 11 years, bro. So I wanted to make a video on this at some point, and I was trying my best to be chill. But like, I know that, like, bits of me being annoyed by this whole situation probably came through a few times, so maybe I'll put it to members only. I'm not sure yet. I'll think about it. I'm not sure yet. But I got another video that I'm working on. The Gon is overpowered. I'm almost done with it. So I'll try and get that out tonight. And then I got another video for tomorrow too. You guys are saying no, don't do it. All right, maybe I won't then. See ya, and don't make it member only. It's a good stream. Yeah, I'll think about it. I might, but I'm not sure yet. But all right, guys, thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I'll